Hey everybody, it's Andre from Guitar Gravity. Sorry for all the tech issues. I'm going to get to the bottom of it, promise. Well, thanks for sticking around, and thank you for your patience. And this is the way to connect with you guys. In case you guys haven't caught yet, that I do weekly content like this on YouTube. And I also going to put out other YouTube videos that aren't live. That's part of my plans as well. And my big plans for this year, if you haven't already heard the news, I'm really excited to announce that I'm going to be launching a course this year. I don't have details yet, but when that does come out, I will give you lots of time and no notice. And to launch yourself properly into the new year, I want to give you guys a free download for you. So this is called 5 Myths to Stop You from Guitar Greatness. Some myths you probably heard in your guitar playing. They're common things like, that you don't need a metronome. It's all about feel. That speed's not important, all those kind of things. All about tone, where does tone come from, just to help cast a big vision for your playing. So please pick that up. It's in the description down below, and that's just going to really challenge you. There's exercises that come with it, videos, really interactive, and from there, that'll plug you into weekly emails, and that'll give you the weekly lesson PDF that'll connect you to all the stuff that I teach every week. So please connect with that. It's in the description down below, and I really hope it helps you. Please let me know how it's helping you. I really want to hear feedback. That'd be awesome. So let's dive deep. Today's lesson is a continuation of last week's episode, where we started looking at pentatonics in more detail. Today is even deeper detail. We're going to look at, this is more of an advanced lesson. So if you're still working through the last week's content, maybe just watch this, but don't be discouraged if it's a little too above you. But so this is more for the advanced players that have already worked through the intermediate lesson and are ready to take things even to another level in their playing. So the first topic is all about 3-note per string patterns. So right now we've just been looking at 2-note per string patterns in our pentatonics, and 3-note per string patterns are really going to help you see the notes on the neck, help you visualize things more, and it's also just going to give you some other options in your playing. Help you hopefully play a little bit faster, just give you some other creative options. So we're going to look at 3-note per string patterns as well as tapping, and stay to the ending, and we're going to look at a monster lick. We're going to put both together and put together a monster lick for you. All right, so here's a recap. The 12th position E minor pentatonic scale should be familiar to you. Let's just play that. So that's going to be what we're going to be doing for most of the lesson. So keep your hands planted right at that 12th fret. Okay, this next diagram is showing you the other notes in the pentatonic scale, and these ones are all in the 17th position. So those red dots are the ones I want you to follow for this 3-note per string exercise. So take a look at that, and what I want you to do is, just looking at that diagram, I want you to play all those notes that you see, and we're going to use 3 fingers on each string. So it is a bit of a stretch, so if you feel any pain, stop and take a break. And if it's just not working out for you, don't worry. We're going to look at tapping later, which will give you a way to reach those notes. So don't be discouraged if you can't reach those notes with your left hand. All right, let's just go through all the notes that we see. Again. Okay, so what you'll see on the screen in front of you are the notes that we just played, and you'll notice as we go to the next string, we're repeating that last note again. So after we go from the E to the A string, we're repeating that A note. So it sounds like this. And it's not a disadvantage. When you're doing these 3-note per string patterns in the pentatonic scale, that's going to come up when you're just the nature of the intervals. You're going to repeat that note again. If that doesn't bother you, that's fine. But if you do want to avoid that, I'm going to show you this exercise here. So just to recap, here's the pattern. Okay, so here, I'm going to show you another pattern you can do. This is all within the same scale. So if you want to avoid repeating that note, what you want to do is when you go to the E string, you want to just shift over to the 12th fret and play the notes from the pentatonic scale again, and we get this. So anytime you're playing a 3-note per string pattern in the pentatonic scale, if you don't want to repeat the note again, all you have to do is shift the notes 2 frets, at least 2 to 3 frets, depending on which note you're at. Okay? So just to show you, there the notes are. So without the shift, you have this. And with the shift. All right, makes sense? Let's move on. So here's another example of how another thing that we can do is we can combine with the 3-note per string pattern. We can still use the 2-note per string patterns and then use 3-note per string patterns as well. And this is going to help us avoid repetition of notes when we change strings. And as you'll see, it's going to help us go through 3 octaves and go through 12 frets. So it's a huge range. So it's going to help you see the fretboard in a bigger context. So let me just demonstrate the E minor pentatonic scale over 3 octaves. Here's what that sounds like. Pretty cool, eh? We're stretching 3 octaves. I think it's pretty cool. So to teach you the theory behind how I'm connecting, like how I'm choosing the next set of notes after I play on the first 2 strings, I'm going to teach you how to find your octaves on the guitar. This is really important. It's kind of a little cheat, and it doesn't replace learning your notes, but it is a helpful guide when you're thinking through the patterns and the notes on the fretboard, a way to find the next octaves. So, for example, for starting on this top string, the E note, if you want to find that E again, you go down 2, across 2. So down 2, across 2. So if whatever pattern I play on the first 2 strings, we go down 2, across 2, and then repeat the same pattern of notes. And to find the octaves on the B and E string, so the 2 high bottom strings, we actually have to think it's always shifted over by 1 fret, just to make it more confusing for us, right? It's going to go down 2, across 3 this time. So for example, to find the octave from here, I go down 2, across 3. And once I find that note on the 17th fret, I repeat those same notes. And I bend up. Don't have the 24th fret, so I have to bend it. Cool, eh? So just to repeat, so you can see the notes there. This is using 2-note and 3-note per string patterns, and it's just to show you how you can play across the fretboard, and it gives you just a lot bigger range, and it's just going to help you in your playing and giving you other creative options. So please explore. That's a challenge for you. Please explore this to a further degree. Come up with different notes and find the octaves and repeat those notes, and that'll just help you get bigger range on the guitar. So just a recap. Okay. So moving on to tapping. Tapping. The cool thing about tapping that I love is that it's like treating the guitar like a piano in some ways. It's allowing your left and right hand to work for you, right? Your right hand doesn't have to stretch the notes that you can't get with your left hand, you can now have access to those notes with your right hand, and that's what I love about tapping. So what I want to do today is just introduce this advanced concept to you of tapping, and just show you the other positions of the pentatonic scale and how you can find those notes and just give you more range with the pentatonic scale. And you can use this with any other scale that you have, but this is just primarily the pentatonic scale. So if you look at those red dots again, that's going to show us the notes that we're going to tap. So our left hand, for the rest of these exercises, is just repeating the E minor pentatonic scale in the 12th position. So let's play through these notes. So I'm going to play through them in order, like the first exercise that we played. So again. All right, so that's the 17th position. Now when you're tapping, you can use your first or second finger. I just can never get used to using, well, I was using my first finger there, but usually, yeah, what am I saying? Typically, what people do is they use their middle finger and keep their pick in their hand. But I just can't get the same strength with my middle finger, so I tend to use my first finger, and it just gives me more power. But for these exercises, I'll try to use my middle finger just to demonstrate what people commonly use as a tapping finger. But you can use your index finger as well if you find it just works easier for you. So when you're striking down, as you may know already, when you're tapping, you really want to give some extra, just really push down hard as you can. You still want to be light and moving to the next string, like fluid, and you're going to the next string, but you do want to give a good attack when you're tapping that note so that the note comes out well. So let's just shift the notes up the positions here, and you'll get to see other options for you. This is really cool. So look at the purple notes on the screen. That's showing you the tapping notes that you can do in the 19th position. So now we're going to hear the sound of mainly fifths. We're going to hear the interval of the fifths and some sixths in there as well. Just the way the notes line up in the pentatonic scale, it's never going to be exactly like the fifths that you're tapping. But so here's what that sounds like. And the final tapping position is at the 22nd fret. We're really high up there now. If you have a 24 fret guitar, you can tap even more, and that next pattern would actually just be a fret like this. It'd be all at the 24th fret, all the tapping notes. But for us, we're going to look at just up to the 22nd fret. So for the 22nd fret, it sounds like this. So just to recap all the positions. Okay, so there's the content that we just looked at. We just saw the 3 notes per string patterns as well as the tapping. Okay, so hopefully you get this. You see a vision now for, oh, look at all the range I have now. Look at all the notes I can choose from. Feel free to experiment with all those notes. There's so many different ways you can play those tapping notes in different orders, different octaves. Feel free to have fun with it. It's really cool stuff. So I want to show you a monster lick I put together. I'm combining the 3-note per string pattern as well as the tapping, just to give you something to work through. So we're going to take that first exercise we looked at. So I'll just play through it first, and then I'll show you the notes on the screen. Okay, so let's break this down. Okay, so we're starting off with that first position of the 12th fret, and we're going to be using 3 notes per string. And then we are going to do the 19th fret position tapping, so follow the purple notes, and we're going to basically be repeating the same pattern we just did. So after you do the first group of 6, you're going to repeat that string again, and you'll see what I mean here. Then I repeat that string, and so on. There you go. That's the monster lick I put together for you. The notes are on the screen, so feel free to work through that. Let me know today what you're going to work on from what you saw today. What's the most challenging? What stuck out for you? Was there a light bulb moment you had? Please let me know in the comments below. Would love to hear what you're working on, what's challenging you in your playing as you start off this new year. What are your goals? And just to recap, I have free download for you. Please pick it up if you haven't already. It's just casting a vision for how you can take your guitar skills to that next level, some common misconceptions, some myths as I put it, and strategies to help you get to that next level in your playing. And it comes with video, some PDFs, and all that good stuff. So the download's in the description below. Please grab it. That'll also give you access to the weekly PDFs for each lesson I put together. That'll connect you to all that content, all that free content as well. So make sure to grab it. And until next time, rock on.